up nice and sheltered with mama's pretty stories and your own made-up fury. Mama gave me a magic clicker. Yes, I think it's true and fair to say. Come on in and listen. Lost words you've been missing. The fire and your bearing. The eye of darkness, your love. So you were drawn to stories early on. My dreams would light up my imagination. And you had nightmares night and day. Yeah, but with the clicker I chased those frights away. Ooh, so true. So here is a clue. Hope to remember. Visions, they come true. Obeying my light switch.
This game is unlike any other game I've ever played. The complexity, the main visual theme, even if some are horror-inducing in nature. This story, more like this review, will be different in nature to any other review, as this will be a review and not a gameplay session plus review. There's a lot to unwrap in this game, but before I start, let me just clarify, cause I know what some people are going to say. No, you don't have to play the original Alan Wake or the remaster to this game. I would recommend maybe you should at least, if you want to play it, if you want to get most of the references, you understanding the Alan Wake type video, which character he's talking about, then yes, watch the synopsis about the main story of the game, but you don't have to play it. Also, while I would recommend you play the other game from the Remedy series, Control, as this is the story, the main agency, the FBC, the Federal Bureau of Control, does play a part in this Control and Alan Wake 2. The game is overall a fun experience again. You don't have to play it if you don't want to. You can just watch the synopsis video about it. Also, you don't have to play Quantum Break as it has Alan Wake references, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the story. I'm typing this manuscript to let you know that Alan Wake 2 might have been my game of the year. Sorry, Spider-Man 2, you lost again. The dark presence has taken shape and has secluded me in this dark corner of my computer, where all I have is the Word document that you're seeing, Minesweeper, and 3D Pinball Space Cadet. Alan Wake 2 is unlike any other game I've played. The nuances, the psychological themes you go in this game, and by the end of it, you put your controller down, you will think to yourself, what the fuck did I just play? Now, people who saw the Game Awards, when they asked, why did this game win Best Narrative over Spider-Man? Now, I know every Spider-Man fan collectively asked themselves, how did a detective game win Best Narrative? Well, when you first boot up the game and get to the Nightingale section, which I can't show you because of YouTube, you understand that it's going to be the whole supernatural theme for this story. Now, hold on, I hear you asking, Casey, do you even know what nuance means? No, I do not. But that's not important right now. What I'm trying to say is that would a detective story have a cult of tree people with goat masks doing a sacrifice in the name of a man who's written only horror novels who disappeared 13 years ago? I think not. Suffice to say, I'm familiar with the horror films of my day. Now, hold on. I know what you're going to say. I wrote it in the manuscript, just like I predicted. Casey, do you know what suffice means? Nope, but I also hear you asking, what does this got to do with the review? Well, it does, you see. Alan Wake 2 is a masterpiece. Cinema. A certified hood classic, as the people would say. This has to do with the many intricacies, sub-stories that followed this game. You see, Alan Wake is only one part of the ever-going story that it's trying to tell. You see, when you play the game at first, having no knowledge of the first game, it looks like the standard buddy cop investigating a cult, and that's it. But as the story goes on, the story goes deeper and more bonkers as you see Saga's story being literally changed before your very eyes. Plus, even though you know what's going to happen in some cases of the manuscripts in the game, it's still surreal to see it, because you know it's only going to lead to more crazy shit, and nothing spells crazy shit like Alan Wake's story portion. Alan Wake is a very complex character. He is an accomplished writer, but is struggling to get out of the dark place because the dark presence is there, just like how I am right now. I've been playing Space Cadet for over 28 hours. I still haven't hit the million points, and I'm stuck here for an eternity typing my way out of this dark presence. You know, for all the things that Alan Wake could do, you would think he'd be a good horror writer. He never thought of a way to, write himself out of the story, because, he has literally the power in the palm of, I should say more of the typewriter in his lap. The ramblings of a madman, as I have been in this dark place for who knows how long. I don't know if I'm in the middle of this review, if I just started it, or if I even finished it and forgot because I've been writing for so long. All I know is to at least try to make this review less than 20 minutes long. As my Super Mario RPG remake video showed you, you guys don't like 36-minute videos. Well, as Alan Wake says, back to the beginning. I don't know how many times I have probably done this, but the story basically is, a continuation of Alan Wake 1, where Alan Wake, after successfully stopping the dark presence with the help of his clicker that is able to stop the dark presence, he saved his wife Alice from the dark place. But like Alan says, in horror stories there's always a price the hero must pay. For Alan, it's that he himself is stuck in the dark place. For the last 13 years, he's been typing, trying to find a way to return to his world. Until one day, Nightingale, an FBI agent who was taken by the dark presence, was brought back to the real world, only to be taken by the cult of a tree, a cult who are obsessed with the writer Alan Wake. Oh, and they wear deer mask. I might have said ghost mask earlier. I mixed them up with the Wyatt family. So, Saga Anderson and Alex Casey. For people that played the first game, his name is a reference to the main character of Alan Wake's book of Alex Casey's books. They are both sent to Bright Falls to investigate the cult and who's behind all these crimes. Now that I think about it, his name is Alex Casey. My name is Casey is Raw. Could it be that we're related? Could it be there's a time paradox of some sort? I don't know for sure, but we'll see in a bit. That is the basic plot, and if I tried to go on with more of the plot, this video would be almost 2 hours long. But in short, it is a horror game with many themes such as loss and insecurities in the part of Alan Wake. As while he is a famous horror writer, he feels that all he would be for, that's all he would be good for, and has grown tired of writing these stories. In part is what led to the events of the first game. As for this game, 13 years of typing different ways to try to return, only to be stopped by the dark presence. Or it could be Alan Wake, as he is a writer and wants to stick to the theme and story that he has written. Like Mr. Door says,
all these rules, endless convoluted loops you insist on going through.
this game makes you think, and as someone whose education ended at the 5th grade, thinking to me is not my strong suit. The more you think about, the more batshit crazy it is. First you have Saga, where you go around finding where the cult of the tree is. Meanwhile, Alan Wake is in the dark place, desperately trying to find a way out. All the while, he has to escape these shadow people, changing reality so that he could progress in the story. But all the while, he keeps failing and has to try and try and try and try again. Almost like he's stuck in an endless loop, 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 an endless loop. I'm sorry guys, sometimes that happens. All the while, he keeps trying because he believes he can get out. But we're shown different perspectives of Wake in the writer's room, contemplating whether he should consider continuing, as this convoluted story takes many shapes and shifts, often that he is slowly losing his mind, which in turn causes him to go bonkers and release his alter ego, Mr. Scratch, where all his fears and insecurities take shape and form this monster of a man. Now, I could go on with how everybody plays their part, how this story takes shape in both Alan and Saga's realities, as Saga's trying to piece this together in her mind palace, but this video is almost 20 minutes long, and I have to get to the point. The point is, Alan Wake 2 is a masterpiece. Go play it. People need to play this game. It's something unique, something we don't get in gaming, with the constant changes of the industry, to focus more on multiplayer live service games that might not even last more than a year. But these games, their stories live on, will flourish on, will keep the industry healthy and strong. If nothing else, I haven't even mentioned the best part of the game. There's a 20-minute rock musical number. The song you heard in the intro of this video plays as you maneuver your way out of the talk show studio hosted by Mr. Door, called In Between with Mr. Door. Get it? Get it? Door pun. There are dance sequences, everything you want. I mean, there's references to shows like The Twilight Zone called Night Springs. This game has everything you could want. I feel like I have made progress. Maybe now I can escape this nightmare. I can escape the dark presence like Alan Wake did before. Maybe I can, actually make a high quality video for once. But there's just one thing I have to say. That dude in the less than serious episode is not me. Like Alan Wake, that is my alter ego. Casey is cooked.
Show me